Press the button, damn you. Okay. Nintendo announced a Gen 10 of Pokemon. Also, Nintendo on the same day announces a $100 USD price hike on Switch 2's due to RAM shortage. I could see it happening. If there's any way to soften the blow about increased prices, it's announcing their next Pokemon product after all. No, they're taking the chests away that I was gonna loot.
Intruder! Take him out!
On a wonderful date. Alright. Hey. Please. Alright, maybe I should go after these regular security officers first. I'm realizing they get kind of shredded. Any more regular ones? Here we go. Go after you. Do some of this. Wow, he was shot up in the air and therefore I think he missed. Okay, well. Braver.
Don't overdo it.
Here, you don't use your big shot, so I may as well do it from time to time. That's what I may as well do. Just gotta make you wait on it. Increased console prices.
All clear. Now let's see what
Wacky
these
box.
bastards were up to.
Next materia improved. Sweet. Will it improve faster as I use it? Instead of it just being equipped? I wonder. I'm sure that's probably the case. Man, I love the physics of this game. I'm having more fun with the physics than I am with the combat.
It looks like a few of its components are still in transit.
We'll see about that.
Airbuster.
Could tamper a little with its loadout.
And give
Oh.
ourselves an edge?
There should be a console somewhere.
I like that there's this actual build up to the Airbuster instead of just, surprise, Airbuster. It's a boss that you face and this is all you're gonna hear about it. Like the original game. Like this actually feels like it's kind of building up to it. And
Needs
like
a
we
key
can
card.
affect the
let's find
battle.
it then.
Kind of really builds up the Airbuster to be a bit more threatening in this game. I don't know. Eh? What? Not that way? You're saying the keycard's in this room? Oh. Is the keycard in the room with us right now?
Find it?
Sector 5 reactor
Yeah.
keycard obtained.
Good job. Now let's check out that console.
Yeah, that's why I picked it up. Didn't really have to tell me. But
M units, huh? I'm guessing that's some sort of component?
Yep.
I guess so.
An enhancement powered by liquefied
Can we play
material.
Doom on this?
Sounds bad.
Pretty sure I can divert this
Key
unit for
card's one.
disposal.
Disposing of M units. Removing M units from an Airbuster will reduce the number of items it has at its disposal. While this does not directly affect the Airbuster's tactical performance, collecting the discard items can give your party a much-needed boost in the fight. Wait, so by taking stuff away from the Airbuster, it doesn't nerf the Airbuster, it buffs me. What? Sure, I guess. I don't know. Sector 5 reactor keycard lost.
M unit flagged for disposal.
Okay.
Just
Well.
imagining their faces when they find out.
Oh, because it's like
So
an
far, so
actual
good.
thing that's gonna help me
Right.
in some way.
Let's move.
No, can I not have it? What do you mean it buffs me then? I'm so confused. It's actually just gonna be disposed. And for the Switch 2 to release to buy a cheaper OLED Switch, but then Switch 1 console prices only went up. Yeah. Kind of funny how that ended up happening, huh? Not really what anyone expected.
You think they're watching
Yeah, gaming
us?
consoles are gonna get a bit more
Even-
valuable
Yep.
in this
Probably got
market,
a live feed.
probably into the
Nothing
next
we
couple
can
of
do
years.
about it. Except smile for the folks at home.
Also, that these big companies can keep on buying RAM that doesn't exist yet, for data centers that don't exist yet, for a market that is not profitable yet. Truly, what a time to be alive, huh? What a time to be alive. We live in a very interesting era, don't we? Okay, well, I can just run up to this laser cannon and smack a bit harder with the Punisher mode. When are you shooting? Oh my god. I wasn't sure when to try and dodge that. I was pretty pissed off about that too. It's like, no. When? Oh my god. Hope that the AI bubble bursts soon. Yeah, it, like, I'm someone that does very much get some of the benefits of AI, like being able to just, you know, build ideas off of it and be able to, you know, establish this is what's going on here, what do I do next? Like, even in the realm of, say, coding, for example. Like, a lot of the shitposty kind of programs that I've made on this channel. Sure, I can make them on my own and Google search a whole bunch of, like, Stack Overflow pages trying to find the one specific set of lines I'm looking for where it's like, oh, that's how you do this function in this programming language. Or you can ask, like, an AI that's just gonna do it immediately. Or you give it, like, a whole page of code and it's like, identify the thing that's causing X problem, and then instead of taking the time to find it, it's like, it doesn't do anything that I wouldn't be able to do myself, but it greatly increases my workflow's speed and efficiency, and you can, like, ask it to explain things and be like, hey, how does this work? I haven't seen that command before. You know, that's just within the field of programming. Like, I get the uses there. But while I'm someone that would generally say, like, hey, you know, I like it, it's cool, I don't like it enough that I think that it's worth the direction that things are going. And at the end of the day, you know, I survived without generative AI before. I can again. Like, you know, things like ChatGPT started coming out and becoming mainstream, like, right in my final year of university. So I kind of got to see what the landscape is going to start looking like right at the tail end of my university degree. But did not go through university with that being the world I lived in, unlike people that are going through it now, and I don't necessarily envy people that are going through it in this world right now, as, you know, both students and professors are using AI to kind of do their jobs for them because it's so much easier to, and I am not at all envious of, like, kids either in university or grade school or whatever the heck nowadays. It does make me quite worried, honestly. So it's, you know, no doubt that there's positive things involving AI, but I think the negatives outweigh the positives. Yeah, I can see that.
We can find the key cards.
So yeah, in terms of, like, AI, LLM, stuff like that, as someone into computing science, I think it's fascinating. I think it's really cool. I got a lightning materia. You know, I think that's, you know, I always love, like, science fiction-y kind of things and stuff like that. It's like, wow, that's really cool. Like, it does kind of suck sometimes. Like, you ask an LLM stuff about programming questions, and sometimes it will go in, like, an infinite loop back upon itself and forget previous context, and, like, that you've already tried this thing, and it's like, all right, there is a point where it's like, obviously this is not gonna work. Like, you obviously can't rely on it. But, you know, it is a good tool for just, like, speeding things up, getting to the point. Take it with a grain of salt, and you really have to be good at, like, scanning through code and bug fixing things, because you ask something like ChatGPT to code something for you, there's gonna be errors in there the first time. Like, you have to be really good at being able to look through code and be like, all right, nope, that is clearly not gonna work for this reason, you know. But generally speaking, as someone that does a lot of programming, I can find that kind of thing to be, like, still a very useful tool, just because of, like, speeding up my workflows, increasing my efficiency. But like I said, I got by through, like, most of my programming life without having those tools available to me. I can make do without again. I think if I had the choice of, you know, keep things going in the current direction that they're at and on the current trajectory and still have these benefits, or be like, nope, don't do that, shut it down, I'd be tempted to do the latter. I think if we really, really rethink the approach here for how we're handling it, both in terms of, like, these data centers and the energy draw and what capacity we have to supply that kind of energy, if we really take time to, like, think through that and then build something, it's like, sure, I'd love to do that. I don't want to completely dismiss the idea just because, like, we're in over our heads right now. Like, again, I think it's fascinating. I think that's really cool. It is something that I would like to see us pursue generally in the future. But, like, we're on a trajectory that is not sustainable right now. And the smarter thing to do would be like, hey, whoa, let's maybe pump the brakes a little bit. Let's really establish the infrastructure that we need here, and then, like, start going at it in a more sustainable way. But I think it's just kind of, like, full steam ahead on this promise of, you know, there's gonna be a massive market. This is the way of the future. This is what the whole world is gonna rely on. Maybe we'll hit AGI as a lot of people are saying there, like, keep investing billions of dollars and eventually we'll hit AGI and the world will change forever because of that. For those that aren't aware, AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence, and it basically means the point at which we develop an AI that doesn't need human manipulation anymore, human intervention anymore. It is capable of completely learning and improving itself as much as it needs to, potentially infinitely, up until a point, I guess, where, you know, you set it on its way, it does its thing, and it ends up doing whatever, because it doesn't need, like, human feedback anymore. It's essentially what one would call, like, self-aware computer. Like, the day that the machines become self-aware. That's basically what it'd be the equivalent of. And there's a lot of people that are investing big bucks because they do want to see us hit AGI.
One's enough to blow you to hell and back.
Nobody knows what a world with AGI would look like. Or if it's necessarily a world that we would want, and there's no way to know. It's one of those things that the only way that you know is when it actually happens. Disposing of big bombers. Removing the big bombers from an airbuster will reduce the number of big bomber shells it has at its disposal. Big bomber shells hit your party hard. The fewer shells fired your way, the safer your party will be. So have I been missing some of these cards along the way or something? Like, I don't understand. So yeah, we won't be able to use any of the RAM made for the data center since they're specifically for those server PCs that won't work on home systems. So half the world's RAM production from these AI bubble years will just be thrown away. So much waste.
So
Yeah, that's
where
really
did they
quite
send
sad
the
to think about,
discarded
huh?
stuff?
Big companies. Why don't you all love AI? Everyone who has seen Terminator. I mean, that would be with the idea of if we do hit AGI, could something like that happen, you know? And
Maybe.
like I said, there's literally no way to know what a world with AGI would look like
If we get
until
that far.
getting into a world with AGI. So it says 2 out of 3 there. Does that imply that there's like 2 more cards that I could scrounge up in here? Yeah, there's a lot of people that are really hyped about the promise, but when there's literally no way to know what the world would look like with it until the world is with it, I'm not necessarily certain it's something that we would want to pursue, like, with all our possible efforts. Like, sure, it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, maybe it would just happen naturally along the way as, like, we continue to grow our systems and evolve as a species. Whatever happens, I guess. You know, going full hog wild to make AGI and be like, oh, let's see what happens. I don't know, man. I don't know. Man. So yeah, my feelings about generative AI and LLMs and stuff like that is complicated. I think it's fascinating. I think it's really cool. I think that there's like a lot of potential with the technology, and I do see how it could be something that the world does actually really rely on. At the same time, the trajectory that it's going on is not sustainable, and 2, if we do get to be a world that does rely on this kind of thing, is it genuinely going to make this world a better place? Or is it going to make us like all the humans in WALL-E? And as I think about AI, I've been thinking about the movie WALL-E a lot. I haven't watched it in like forever. And I really want to rewatch it one of these days, because it really does kind of make you think, huh, this movie was kind of ahead of its time, because we're now living in the age where there are people that aren't really making much in the way of their own decisions and just rely on either, you know, a generative AI or whatever it says on the internet to be the thing that they go with. Like, there's scenes from WALL-E where, you know, it comes up on the big screen where it's like, oh, blue is the new red, or red is the new blue, or whatever the heck. And everyone goes, ooh, hits a button and all their clothes just change color. Like, they decide that that's what was best for them. Or through most of the movie, the captain is asking the AI, the ship wheel, what to do. It's just like not having the power to make decisions for himself until, of course, like climax of the movie, and that being like some of the crux of the arguments the movie was making. But it does really make you wonder with some people nowadays, where it's like, if you're relying on something like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever the heck, I do worry at times about like those that use that for like the whole decision-making process, where it's like, oh yeah, whatever it tells me is what I should do, as opposed to really being like, huh, let's maybe make my own decisions here. You know, it's something that like I use as a tool to help me make decisions sometimes as well, in regards to like some of the tournament stuff that I've been planning for Fragapalooza coming up here. Fragapalooza's 30th anniversary is this year, and so Like, it started in 1997, it's 2026 now. So I really want to do something big for a tournament this year, and I'm trying to simulate, like, all these different potential bracket formats in my head that aren't any established big bracket format. I'm thinking about doing a modified open ladder fighting game tournament, and then for a kart racer tournament, I'm thinking about doing, like, a multi-kart racer tournament. That's a modified custom version of a double elimination bracket with a little bit more leeway and a little bit more forgiving nature for loser's side. I'm toying with a bunch of ideas, but I need to understand sometimes, what is the time cost of this compared to my normal brackets that I run? Like, if I run a normal double elimination bracket, how many sets is that total? How many games is that on average? Like, assuming they're best of threes, let's say that's an average of 2.5 games per set. I can see if this is how many total games and how many total, like, matches are played within one of my standard double elimination tournaments at this amount of players. How much would it be at this amount of players? What if we take one of these custom bracket ideas in my head and run a simulation where we have this amount of players under this bracket format, and how does it compare in terms of total matches played to a standard double elimination tournament? Is it way shooting up the games to the point that it's going to be way too much time cost and this kind of bracket isn't feasible? And instead of, like, actually plugging away at a freaking Excel spreadsheet with all these, like, example brackets, or pulling out a calculator and hoping, crossing my fingers that I don't make a mistake in my calculations, trying to figure out how many total games this is going to be across all sorts of different potential player counts. It's going to be variable at Frag. I describe what kind of a bracket format and player count there's going to be to ChatGPT or something like that, and I just tell it, give me the numbers for how many total games there's going to be, assuming these averages and this bracket format, comparing this to this, and me keeping in mind how long the established ones I've done take. I can compare to these simulated brackets, and I can be like, okay, yeah, that seems like it's feasible time-wise, or be like, ooh, yeah, that's a little bit much. I need to find a way to, like, tone this down a little bit, because if I try to, like, put that into practice, I'm gonna be, like, way over my head. So, you know, I will use it as a decision-making tool from the perspective of, this is information that's gonna be a pain in my ass to figure out myself. You figure it out. And then it spits out, like, actual numbers, and it's like, okay, yeah, let's use that to make decisions, you know? So, you know, you can absolutely use it to help gather information in that kind of sense and take over a lot of the, like, pain in the ass kind of tedious jobs of calculating shit like that. So, like, I do very much appreciate, like, the usefulness in being a tool like that. Just the amount of, like, time-saving potential, whether I'm programming, running my stupid bracket simulations. Whoops, I was just down there the first time. But, again, is that necessarily worth the direction that we're going in? I don't know that I can wholeheartedly say that. I certainly have my doubts there. Well, I guess I can just be someone that's up here. Whatever. Oops, I should have dive kick there. Oop, my first ability trophy earned. Acquired the dive kick ability. Oh, hell yeah. In which case, whoops. Oh, that's my map now? Oh, that's kind of cool. Nope, back out, please. So yeah, as someone that absolutely gets the use and gets value out of it, yeah, it's not going in a great direction, and if the AI bubble did burst, you know, I wouldn't exactly be complaining. There would be some things like that where it's like, okay, this is a little bit more of a pain now, but, you know, my life was fine before, it'll be fine after. I can go ahead and switch the thingamabob here to this now. Boobity bop. We'll go ahead and get up that ability. Now that we have dive kick. I wish I saw the bar here. Oh, I do see the bar here. It's on the right side there where my camera blocks. I see. So yeah, that's my opinion on generative AI. Oop, can I? Oh. This is a card here. Tier 5 reactor keycard obtained. Have there been ones dropped along the way here that I've missed or something? Hopefully the coming battle isn't too hard here. That would kinda suck. Yeah, so I certainly have a few things to say about the whole AI front there. I'm really, really not impressed about the direction that things are going. That's kind of making life difficult for everyone else. taking so much out of the energy grid, destroying RAM prices for everyone. It's, yeah. Big companies, why don't you all love AI? Me, let me generate an image of your intellectual property. Let's say a Pikachu, and tell you that it's illegal. Yeah, it is quite the... Oh my god, he can pop a heal for himself. Quite the area we've gotten into, isn't it? When it comes to how we deal with legality and all that. And, you know, with it being such a different thing that we have never dealt with before as a species, we are very much in a phase of figuring out how we deal and regulate with this stuff in the first place. Because it's still very much a brand new thing that we're dealing with as a species. And, you know, we really got to figure out, what are the measures on this? What are the regulations? How much can you control? How much can you predict is it even going to be going on? And how much can you control from that perspective? Like, what you're predicting is so off base, you know? It's certainly something. You know, it's a little bit ironic in a sense when you consider that they're buying up all this RAM and consumers aren't going to be able to afford RAM anymore to run the things that they want to AI generate. How are they going to sell these LLMs to consumers that can't run them anymore? Of course, I know that if you're like just doing a format online, obviously your computer isn't the one that's running it, but I'm talking like, you know, generally speaking, genuine future for it and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass here. But...
Big bomber shell flagged for disposal.
This is what I might well be doing. It's not running on your local machine anyway.
Who he's messing with.
You want to see something really friggin' cool that I was able to make a whole lot faster with ChatGPT? So as I've been debating about tournament format for Fragapalooza 30 here, I think with I want to do a multi-kart racer and I want to do a multi-fighting game tournament. So as opposed to doing multiple Smash Bros tournaments, I'd rather do like a whole mix of all sorts of different games that you're playing. Cause it's a big Fragapalooza 30th anniversary thing. And so I was thinking like the kart racing tournament is standard-ish double elimination bracket, where it's something like everyone starts Mario Kart World. You lose that, you go down to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I can literally put together an image here. Hold on. Oh yeah, everything closed down because my computer froze. This is the one that I'm not going super ambitious on. And I don't know if this is if any of this stuff is gonna go through. I'm gonna pitch it at the next Fragapalooza meeting here. But this has been stuff that I've been brainstorming, where I was thinking kart racer tournament, maybe look something like that. I add any more rounds as I need to, and you know, but it takes the form of something like that, where one way or another you have to win, like you have to win Mario Kart to move on. One way or another you have to win Sonic to move on. One way or another you have to win Kirby to move on. You know, I think that's kind of cool. I think you finish off with Mario Kart 64 because 1997, the year that Frag started, and it's the 30th anniversary for, so I thought that was a cool idea there. Meanwhile, the all my tabs closed, damn it! Was it in Firefox that I had my window open for like this tournament bracket shit? I think I did here. Yeah, I did indeed. Let's see here. Load it up. What I put together for fighting game tournament idea was I had thought about doing something like that for fighting games as well. But let's say you're really good at a particular fighting game, but it's only later on in the bracket, and you get knocked out before you even get there, and you never get the chance to play it. And the fighting games are going to be so different that, you know, there's not as much overlap as with the kart racer. So that's why I had the idea of doing an open ladder, where at first I thought a round robin, but then there's still like a whole lot of organization of like who's going up against who, how do we rank points. How about just casual open ladder? There's games around. You go play games, play up to 3 matches, report your score on like a Google form, and then the system automatically puts it all together. It ranks you automatically. And it would look something like this. So I could list the currently ongoing games at different stations, like change that over time. It'll list your wins, losses, ties for different games. If you reported more than 3 matches, the system can flag with an error like, whoa, there's more than 3 matches here, so they're not counted. And this calls for a TO to go into submitted scores and manually, like, resolve it. Figure out if something needs to be deleted, if something needs to be changed, if a game title needs to be changed, like, whatever here. And then, like, the top 8 are shown here. I've got the colors that show who's going to go up against who in the top 8. So, like, open ladder would be to determine who's going to play in a single elimination top 8 bracket. So we have the open ladder open for so long, and then we do top 8 where, you know, these are those that are actually competing for, you know, final positions. And an open ladder like this, anyone can dip in, just play a game that they want to play for a little bit, and then leave, or do whatever. Like, it really is just, you play as much as you want to play, even if you don't really want to compete. People that want to grind their score can do this. Maybe it's only, like, the best of your best 5 games, so, like, these ones that aren't bold, they don't count, so it doesn't punish you that hard if there's games that you suck at. It encourages you to go around and play a bunch of different games, get different experiences, meet a bunch of different opponents. It just sounds fun. It's something that I want to do. But I figured this would be such a pain in the ass to manage as a TO, constantly entering people's scores, having to do a whole bunch of calculations at the end where it's like, okay, this is this person's total score. These are the games that should count for it. This is a functional system. So let's say I'm Mythic here. Oh, this is not the response page here. Copy responder link. Boop. Boopity bop. Let's say I'm reporting a game as Mythic 595 here. I'm reporting my score for, like, Wii Sports Resort swordplay. I got a win. I lost once, but then I got another win. I submit the form. And then on form submit, the script starts running. It wipes stuff, it completely recalculates it, and then it ranks everybody accordingly. So now Mythic here is here with 2 points for 2 wins, is just on the verge of reaching top 8. And now let's say that, let's say Mythic went and played another game. So I can do this and it'll realize it's still the same name, the capitalization doesn't matter. Who played some Persona 4 Arena Ultimax and is really, really good at that game. So got 3 wins in a row. And then the result of that, anytime a submission comes in, the script reruns. And then re-ranks people accordingly. Goes to Christmas Past, been booted down here. Now Mythic is up here at rank 6, tied with 3 points with other rank 6 players here now. You know? This is done through Google Apps Scripts, and most of this code was generated by ChatGPT. Just literally describing, this is what I want, this is how it's gonna work, step by step. And then it makes most of it, and it's like, holy shit, that saved me so many hours, you know? And there has been a lot that I've gone into and changed manually and tinkered with, like, different things here. And I could have absolutely made this, like, on my own as well. It's not like this was the only way that I'd be able to do this. But man, that saved me so many hours of looking into what I need to do for, like, each of the specific things, what the different commands I'm looking for are. It's just, it's very, very handy. So it's turned this spreadsheet here into a functional, like, tournament system that I might be able to use for Fragapalooza as, like, a genuinely professional, functional, cool thing, you know? So stuff like that, as someone that does, like, a lot of programming, that does make me kind of excited about the prospects of what you can do with that, when I can just describe exactly how the system is going to work, and it's like, okay, here you go. You know? It's cool. Like, yeah. So anyway, to show something recently made using generative AI, it certainly speeds things up a whole lot on that front. No, I don't have any more key cards. It'd be nice if they would regulate AI, but they won't because the rich gain from it. No, they don't. Our president is older than a little company called Burger King. As far as I'm aware, the only thing he's capable of using a computer for is sending 15 tweets a day. That's what it seems like. I don't think that I would say that the rich are necessarily benefiting from the generative AI, because again, it is just a massive, massive money sink that is just draining money. The one way that one could argue that, like, the rich are benefiting is everyone is gambling on this so hard that they keep on buying from one another so much that a lot of these big companies are benefiting because they're selling a lot of stuff. Like Nvidia, for example, you know? A lot of these companies that make, like, computer components and RAM and stuff like that, ooh, they're making big bucks right now. But, you know, so one could definitely make the argument that there's benefit because it's really stirring up the economy and getting them to buy from one another a whole lot, and, you know, in the process limiting the available pool to the everyday common person. But, you know, in terms of, like, actual profits from generative AI, it is so not there right now. And They are very much trying to figure out how to make it be there and puzzling out how that's possible. Stock price go up, individual rich people make money. Well, for now, until the bubble bursts, and they're all just gambling on it's gonna keep on going until it finds a way to become like an integral part of our world and be profitable and all that. And if that doesn't happen and the bubble bursts, kind of screwed. It's not great for anyone in the long term, but in the short term, the rich are gaining massively. Yeah, I suppose so, but
Tell you what,
a company that
I ain't
really
never
wants to
looked
act
forward
long
to an
term,
execution more in my
don't know if this is the
entire
play.
life.
Again, they're all just
You don't
banking on this
say.
being the next big
We're
thing,
about
or
to
they hit
make fools out of
AGI or
Shinra while the
something
whole
like
damn
that. And
city's watching.
it really makes you wonder about where the future's gonna go.
Times like these, you gotta savor.
Oh no, if you're about to
That
ask
was a
me
little
to
bit
dance, then don't.
Jank when
Come on,
this
don't
model
be
kind of
shy.
jumped position there.
How about you, Cloud?
Yep.
I don't dance.
Apparently it's my 5-year anniversary of following you on Twitch. Well, happy half a decade there, Mortis. That was one heck of a long time. I appreciate you following me for half a decade. Holy crap.